Welcome to the Matt Cutrer Report. These are the extraordinary stories of extraordinary individuals. Today's guest is the executive director of the San Angelo Performing Arts Center, and he's always doing something to connect local talent. My friend, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Yuki.
It's great to be here again.
Yeah, very cool. So if you don't know Yuki Kuniyuki, give us a little background of who you are and what you do, and talk about SAPAC if you want. Look in that camera right there and address the audience.
So I'm Yuki Kuniyuki. I'm the executive director at the San Angelo Performing Arts Center here in San Angelo, downtown San Angelo. I've been in position for 4 years. I was a retired military intelligence officer. I used to work at Goodfellow Air Force Base, and it just so happened that I'm working now in bringing the best in live entertainment to San Angelo, and it's been quite an interesting ride so far.
Yeah, very cool. Well, so we got some stuff we're going to talk about. In particular, we're going to talk about music and musicians, right?
We are, yeah.
Okay. And before we do, though, I just want to tell you, man, it's been, since you were here, it's probably been close to a year, and just the guests that I've had on, I mean, there's been, I mean, at least 8 to 10 times where we've referenced you or stuff that you're doing or allowing different people to do, musicians, comedians. So I think you're doing a great job. Thank you for what you're doing. It's been really good for San Angelo. So,
you know, I think it's
cool.
It makes my job easier because there's so many talented people here.
Yes.
You know, comedians. You know, I love working with Matt Lucero and Chris Crawford and Greg Duran because they're energized. They have a vision. And
yes.
All it took was, you know, getting together and figuring out what the next evolution of that would be. And now we're looking at music, and in the past it's been like working with visual artists to help promote us as the visual arts capital of Texas.
Nice,
so.
Yeah.
Are you looking to elevate your brand with custom headwear? Custom business hats for high quality customized hats, perfect for any business need. Whether it's for company branding or distinctive merchandise, we ensure that your brand gets the attention it deserves. Plus, we offer free quotes to help you get started. Visit our website at custombusinesshats.com. Custom Business Hats, we've got you covered.
And the cool thing is, when I talked to Chris and Matt about Levity 325, they explained that you were kind of the influence behind that. You know, you explained to them, from what I understand, is that they need a little more organization, a little more unity to legitimize what they were doing, instead of it just being, you know, a bunch of random comedians that kind of share the same passion. Give it a little more legitimacy and credibility.
Because now, in this day and age of like social media and self-promotion, you need brand management.
Yes.
So you have to figure out what that brand is going to be so that it's easily recognizable and it creates a standard that people expect.
Yes.
So, you know, I love the Laugh Riot. That Laugh Riot is something that they came up with.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of a signature event for them. And it's tied to Levity 325. So now people, you know, when they see that branding and the posters and the event, they know what to expect.
That's right.
And they can tell their friends about it. It's not just like, hey, I know Yuki over here, he's a great comedian, let's go to his event. Well, you know, there's so many other comedians. I think they've done a great job just organizing.
That's been good for San Angelo.
And we have a Levity 325 event coming up on
this weekend.
Yeah. Marvin Morrell.
We had him on 2 days ago, right? Dad? Yeah, so yeah, he's a good dude. He's funny. He's hilarious. He's a good magician. He showed some tricks, and man, his sleight of hand, he calls them, or misdirection tricks, are pretty neat.
You know, and I think that's the great thing about him, is because this day and age, there's a spectrum of musicians. On the one hand, you've got the folks who've really worked on the craft.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you've got people who've bought into the craft.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because, you know, since from a performing arts perspective, we see a lot of magicians, and a lot of times, sometimes the magic is similar across the board.
Okay, yeah.
And to me, it's only so many times you can make snow.
Right, yeah.
Before it's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
But when it's sleight of hand, card magic, to me that is the best type of magic because it's right there in your face.
Yeah.
And it's always special.
Yeah.
Because you know that it's taken that musician, that artist, a long time to develop the skills to make it amazing.
Yeah. I really appreciate that kind of stuff. I'm one of those people. I'm like probably the target audience for magicians because I'm so like blown away and in awe, by their. And you know what? Chris said something cool. He said, because I asked Marvin. I said, do you think? I mean, are they all illusions, or do you think real magic exists? And he said, no, I don't think real magic. They're definitely illusions, and you get better at them. And Chris said, I think the magic is, whenever you're able to feel like a kid again. And you have that wow experience, like what just happened, and so I love that, man. I love being wowed like that, so it's cool. But so tell us a little bit about what's coming up and what you got going on with SAPAC and with as far as music goes.
So last year I brought musicians together to ask what we needed, and this has been a long time coming. My goal is to have an event that brings local musicians in for one night of music, so that way people can see the tremendous amount of talent that we have locally in the music scene. Because right now, it's kind of like the comedians. You see each artist advertising their own show in different locations, but there's not really one opportunity to see them all perform.
That's right.
And help them connect.
Yeah.
Because everyone's really busy.
Right.
And San Angelo, the evolution of our music festivals has undergone quite a transformation, you might say, in recent years. We don't have the same number of music festivals like we used to have.
Yeah.
And so, since we have venues, my goal is to bring the musicians in, since we have climate-controlled, air-conditioned venues.
Yeah.
So the audience can appreciate the music for the music.
Yeah.
Right, and they don't have to worry about the sun and the heat. But then to showcase between 3 to 4 bands and maybe 5 to 6 solo, duo, trio acts in the same space for one low price.
Nice.
And ensure that when the event is over, the musicians get paid commensurate with their talent and their time, and it's a way to give back to the music community so that we encourage it to grow.
Yes.
So our first event is musical Crossroads on the 23rd of August.
Okay.
That's a Saturday night. That's actually after the next Levity 325 comedy night.
Okay, yeah.
That's a back to school event.
Yeah.
But musical Crossroads is going to bring those musicians in, bands and musicians in, and then guests can come in. They can pick and choose which set to listen to.
Oh, okay.
And we'll have like drinks available. We'll encourage musicians to stay afterwards to connect, maybe jam out together.
Yeah.
Because it's really about bringing people together. And I know, we're not the only ones doing this. The Chicken Farm Arts Center is also working with musicians to bring more musicians out to the chicken farm.
Yeah.
And I think by us contributing to the number of events in San Angelo that promotes local music, we can help continue the music-friendly designation that we have as a city.
Yes. Yeah, we need that. So just to clarify, for Musical Crossroads, there's going to be several different bands and solo musicians, but is it going to be like an all-day thing where
No, so we're going to start small and go big, right?
Okay, yeah.
So it's going to be from like 7:30 till 11.
Okay.
And so it's an evening event, just to get it going.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because we need to learn
for sure
how to make this the most efficient type of event possible.
Yeah.
Eventually, the goal would be having an all-day event.
But
I know. Initially, starting out it'll be difficult to bring a lot of foot traffic in for one event. So it's easy just to focus on a time frame. Because once again, we talked about before the show began about like live performances being a value proposition.
Yes.
When people decide to go out to experience a live event, there's many factors. the number one being time.
Okay.
How long is the event? How much time do you have to prepare for it?
Mm-hmm.
Go to the event. Do I need to eat beforehand? So, if it's an all-day thing, it has to be kind of tied into other all-day things happening at the same time. So maybe in the future it might be collaborating with Paintbrush Alley Market Days or Downtown San Angelo Stroll or one of these other existing things.
Yeah.
So,
well, what we kind of talked about too before we started rolling, which I thought was interesting, is, and I think people will find it interesting, is I asked you, sort of what's going on with that. Like, how do we become a tourist destination? How do we get people out? And you explain, the time commitment, the financial commitment, because like you said, getting ready, eating, all that stuff, you're looking at about a 4-hour commitment. And I said, is it, what's the deal? And you said it was, what did you attribute it to? Changing behaviors.
right.
And so explain what you think is going on, because like you said, like, it's so easy now to get in your PJs, make something at home and put on your favorite show. And so there's kind of a struggle going on with that. How do we get people back out there, I guess?
I think it's helping people understand that the live in-person experience is unmatched.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Because you can go home, watch your favorite show, watch your favorite comedy special, but it's the same one every time,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you go out to a live event, that live event's only going to happen one time
That's true.
with that audience, with that performer, with that experience.
Yes.
It will never be replicated again. It's like going to community theater.
Yeah.
Right? Every night is a special night because the things that happen that night will only happen once.
Yeah.
And they'll never be replicated again. And so I think the value of live music is the experience, or live performance is the experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Music especially because
Yep.
you can watch YouTube, you can watch streaming concerts, but the quality of the music will never be the same as being there in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. We saw, it was out at Star Ranch, I believe it's called. And then, yeah, they had it there twice, actually, and it was I'm trying to remember.
It was a music by candlelight.
Yes.
Right. They had a Taylor Swift one, and
That's
they
right.
had
And then they had Vivaldi,
like a
the Four
symphony
Seasons.
one.
Yes, and then they had a Halloween one, which was really cool. But that was amazing, that experience. It was a very intimate setting. At first we thought, well, why are they not doing this at SAPAC or like the Janelle Center? But once we experienced it, we were like, oh man, it couldn't be any better than that intimate venue where the crowd was literally surrounding the stage, and you're just really thrown into the experience. It was beautiful. I loved that. And so you're right about having that one-time unique experience. It's moving, and you're there experiencing it with the musicians, and it's pretty cool. And it's just, Austin's done a really good job. San Antonio, Fredericksburg, of really getting people out there and promoting these attractions, live music and stuff like that. And San Angelo's kind of, if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of been up and down. Like, we've had times where we've been pretty good about that, and then times where people are staying at home more.
Well, I think when you talk to musicians, they'll say that the scene is really different from what it was in the past.
Okay.
There was more music before.
Yeah.
There were more venues, and that's kind of changed. Even in the last year, we've seen the loss of venues downtown.
Yeah.
But now we have new venues coming in, so
True.
it's pretty exciting to see what the future is going to hold in the very near future.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's been a challenge, I know, for musicians to find places to play because, one of the challenges being an artist, whether you're a photographer, a visual artist, a performing artist, musician, whatever, a comedian, sometimes the expectation is you'll play for exposure, or that you'll provide a free service, right? But if we want our arts to grow, we have to invest in them.
That's right.
We cannot expect free events by these professionals, people who've honed the craft, who spent time, devoted to their performances.
Yes,
right.
That's good.
Because when we devalue that, right, then we'll slowly see those artists move away.
Yep.
Because they'll find greener pastures someplace else. And that becomes a challenge. We, as a community, we have to figure out what the cultural arts should be and how we should invest in them to grow the personality of a community so that it becomes attractive for tourism, because we're competing every day with other cities.
Yeah.
Right. Right now, if you want to see Broadway in West Texas, you can go to Buddy Holly Hall in Lubbock, Wagner Noel in Midland, Odessa, and Abilene Convention Center up in Abilene, because those communities have invested in those performances, because it is a lot of money to put on Broadway.
Is it?
It is.
I didn't know that. Do you take on?
So we've had Broadway,
Okay,
right? But
yeah.
our challenge is ticket sales allowing us to continue putting these on.
Okay.
We have to be able to underwrite the shows.
Right.
A Broadway show, for example, on the lower end might be between $30,000 to $40,000
Whoa.
just for the fee
Wow.
for one night performance.
Yeah.
So if you want a weekend, say Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's $120,000.
What?
Right. So you have to be able to generate that amount of sales and tickets.
Wow.
Plus, that doesn't count advertising. So you're going to spend, for Broadway show, you're probably going to spend $7,000 to $8,000 on advertising.
Whoa.
You'll have labor costs associated with stage crew, load in, load out. That'll be between $4,000 to $5,000. So
Wow, I didn't know that.
So the cost of putting on a Broadway show increases exponentially, and what you're seeing now is the rise in transportation costs, insurance costs. They have to raise their fees commensurate with those things. So if you cannot generate $140,000 or let's say $60,000 to $80,000 in ticket sales for a show, you're not going to make the money you need to stay.
Yeah. How are these other communities doing that, like Lubbock and Abilene? I mean, how are they doing that?
Well, so Abilene, for example, their Cultural Affairs Council, they are funded at about $500,000 to $600,000 from hotel occupancy tax funds. And the Cultural Affairs Council there is subordinate to the Chamber of Commerce, and their Cultural Affairs Council helps underwrite the cost of Broadway.
Okay.
And in 2023, the City of Abilene went under contract with ASM Global, which is a venue management company, to run the convention center.
Okay. Yeah.
And ASM Global manages Abilene Convention Center, Buddy Holly Hall, and Wagner Noel.
Okay.
And so they have deep connections into the performing arts community. They deal with Live Nation. They work with Broadway Across America, Nederlander Entertainment, and these are organizations that help book Broadway series in those areas. So you might say it's a funding aspect.
Okay.
In Lubbock, you have the Lubbock Entertainment Performing Arts Association, which is a coalition of different arts organizations that help fundraise for Buddy Holly Hall.
Okay, yeah.
Wagner Noel is, I think, owned by Texas UT Permian Basin, but ASM Global manages the rental of that space for traveling performances. And then so it's also about cash flow. So because ASM Global and works with Live Nation, their cash flow is considerable. I think in 2024, ASM Global, Wagner Noel was on Polestar. Polestar is this industry magazine that tracks box office sales. And Wagner Noel was over $5 million in ticket sales for that year.
Yeah.
So when you have that type of cash flow coming in, you can balance the expenses that you incur.
Yeah. So a lot of that cost, what is it going to? Is it going to pay everybody that's involved in the production, along with all the props and all of that as
right.
well?
So
okay.
when you think about Broadway show, those are paid actors, and performers.
Okay. Yeah.
So a lot of the fees go towards performers, equipment, and then other operating costs such as insurance,
Yes.
maintenance, transportation,
Okay.
hotel,
Yeah.
food. So
Wow. Yeah.
when you think about it, the performing arts is a very large industry to be in, and it's very diverse.
Yeah.
Because you have everything from individual performers on a local level to international, national and international performers that are raking in billions, right? So that's, on the high end, you've got the Taylor Swifts,
Right.
other music artists, and on the low end, you have people performing for busking outside for
Right.
tips, right?
Yeah.
So, and on any day, somebody can rise to fame quite quickly, or it might take a long time too. So
Yeah.
it's a really interesting place, a dynamic place to be in.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as I can remember, people have said that San Angelo is full of talented people, and especially musicians. And one time I asked, it was District Judge Jay Weatherby. He's in a band called Take Two. They're fantastic. Have you heard them?
I don't think I
Man,
have.
I need to connect you with them. They need to play at SAPAC. So they're amazing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you more about them later. And he said, same thing. He said, there's so much talent here. And I said, well, what do you think it is? Like, why are we not like in Austin? Or why don't you see people coming out of San Angelo that are making it big and really making a living at this? And he kind of said what you did is the greener pastures thing. And he said, we don't have a really great venue here like Lubbock or Austin. They have those signature venues. And he said something cool. And, SAPAC is quickly becoming that, thankfully. And we have a couple others. But then we see those that are shutting down every day. But he said, what would be cool is if somebody restored the Texas Theater and made it like a really cool music venue for concerts or something like that. But then again, we do have the bond that just passed for the Coliseum. So that probably will attract bigger acts. But do you think, as far as venues go, like where are we in terms of that? And you said earlier, you mentioned that in the near future we're going to see some cool ones pop up.
Well, I think the main thing that we need is arts leadership.
Okay.
Right. When you go to a place like Waco, they have an overarching organization called Creative Waco, and Creative Waco acts as their Culture Affairs Council that kind of brings arts groups together and helps define the vision for the community.
Nice.
I think right now, this is purely my own opinion.
Yeah.
We don't have a cohesive vision for where we want to be.
Yeah.
Right. What do we want to have?
Okay.
I mean, I love the River Stage as a location, but it needs improvement. And I know the city and Sid Walker over at the Civic Events, they have a plan to upgrade that facility.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's the challenge is keeping pace with industry standards.
Oh yeah.
Right. Because every day that's moving faster than a lot of communities can sustain their development.
Yep.
Right. So it's like I think Las Vegas, they have that huge dome, right? And I think Dallas recently added a LED IMAX type experience.
Nice.
So, that is the biggest challenge. It's like, how do you keep pace without losing too much of your personality?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a trade-off, right? You can try to have the most avant-garde, cutting-edge thing, but if it doesn't resonate with the people, then it gets lost.
That's very
right?
true. Yeah.
So I think it's, we need to figure out how do we provide opportunities for artists to grow, and how do we bring new artists in, right? Because I think when you look at places like Dallas and Austin and San Antonio, one of the things that helps them thrive is that there's opportunities for people to grow, develop, have their own business,
For sure.
And find their footing, right?
Yep.
Here, I think it's a little bit more difficult because where you have well-established arts groups, that adding to that is difficult.
Yeah.
Right? But we can never stop thinking about what's next.
Yeah.
And it takes effort to train the next generation of people. Like, for example, at SAPAC, I know that I'm not going to be at SAPAC forever.
Right.
Being in the Army, my expectation was like rotate 2 years. Every 2 years is someplace new.
Yeah.
But that works in the Army because there's always that leader development pipeline.
That's right, yeah.
Right. So we need to figure out what that is for San Angelo. We need to figure out how do you develop arts leaders to build something of their own, right? And make it attractive to new audiences.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always thinking about how do we encourage artists. So like this musical Crossroads is my second step, right?
Okay.
First step was comedians. How do we bring comedians into SAPAC so that way they have, they can perform at restaurants, bars, and now SAPAC, which would be a next level of venue, right? For musicians, it's the same thing. How do we go from bars to a proscenium stage, where it's just for the music and there's no distractions. Right? And then, through this process, help them learn about contracting. Tech writers. Do you have a stage plot? Do you have information package that you can give to a venue so that they can book you?
Cool.
Right?
Okay.
All these things are important. And, one of the advantages for me is people always want to come to a venue. Right? So I deal with everything from hypnotists to magicians to musicians to theater groups. They all want to come in and get booked.
Right.
So I get to see very different things. Contracts with them. I share my contract with them. So I've learned very rapidly the business end of things, and I think it's really important to expose more people to that business end. Like, I think, personally, I think every theater major going through university should have classes in business.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Accounting, office management, because one of the things I see that I think is a travesty is an artist working at a bar or working at being a server at a restaurant when they should be employed they should be employed at a performing arts venue, in the box office, in human resources, in production, doing something associated with a venue.
Yes.
Because there's a ton of jobs out there.
Yeah.
Right, but they're immediately disqualified because they don't have the professional certifications needed to fill those administrative positions at the venue.
Yep.
So, that's the best way to grow the arts, because then you're learning the business end of things as well as the performance piece of it, and you're staying close to the profession that you're most interested in.
Yes, that's good. Yeah.
So, there's a podcast I like to listen to from the Association of Performing Arts Professionals, APAP. It's called Art, Work, Life, and it's shared stories from different arts leaders across the country.
That's probably really cool, yeah.
And it's short. It's like each show is like 16 minutes.
Nice.
Each interview is like 4 to 5 minutes.
Cool, yeah.
But from an arts perspective, it's a great way to see all the different experiences and pathways. Like, there's one lady that created a Latin theater company in Miami, but in order to fund that, she had 3 jobs. Uber, I think, driving Uber was one, and there's a couple other jobs to help her pay the bills, so she could establish her own company. Wow. So when you start learning from, even like the Matt Cutrer Report is a great place, because you've had musicians on here, comedians on here. So if anybody wants to, gain insight, they immediately know who some of the people are in this community that they can talk to. Yeah. So I think that things like shows like this are very valuable, because it's about sharing experiences and having that information persist. In online someplace, so that people can continually learn from these things.
That's right. Yeah. Cool.
Because that's to me, that's the only way that communities will grow the art scene. Because I see videos all the time about, like, I think it was Santa Fe or San Antonio. There's an artist who has his own studio, but yeah, he also has his own storefront and gallery, and he's very successful. And I always think, how can we take those lessons and apply them here?
Right.
Because the number of art galleries that we have are almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when you think of us as the visual arts capital of Texas.
Yeah.
Right? We have great murals. I mean, Art in Uncommon Places has done wonderful things, transforming our public spaces.
Yeah.
We have a lot of artists that have art displayed in restaurants and bars and different locations, and we have great events like Paintbrush Alley, Market Days, Cactus Market Days that help encourage these things. But, you know, we don't have galleries.
I know.
It's not, you know, to me, we should be like Santa Fe.
Yeah.
We should have like a gallery district.
For sure, yeah.
Where people have it available 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're making strides in the right direction.
I think so. I mean,
the
key thing too is keeping the young people.
Yeah.
And
giving
them the tools that they need to be successful.
Yes, that's vital. So so anything else you want to plug with SAPAC or anything coming up?
Lots of great events coming up, you know.
Nice, yeah.
The best way to stay in touch is go to our Facebook page. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X.
Nice.
SanAngeloPAC.org is where we have all the shows on sale. You can call 325-284-3825 and talk to the box office staff. If you have any questions, come visit us at 82 Gillett Street. And I think that's one of the great things that we offer is in-person connections, because if you're buying tickets online, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who've been on hold. Yeah. Not been able to get through to somebody who is a real person. And that's, you know, the value that we provide from a performing arts perspective is customer relations management.
That's good, yeah.
And I just want to put out some info, public service announcement to all the viewers out there. You know, if you want to find the best tickets at the lowest cost, go to the artist page or go to the venue page. Okay. Right? When you do a Google search for the event, the first 3 or 4 links will take you to third-party websites. Right, okay. And those will always be more expensive.
Makes sense.
Right, so for example, we've heard horror stories where people have spent $400 on tickets. Wow. When if they had gone to SAPAC's page or the artist page, it would have been $160.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah.
Right? And you know, most venues don't honor third-party tickets. We will do our best at SAPAC to always try to honor the tickets, but they may not be the seat that you requested.
I see, yeah.
Based on space available. And I think Cooper's had the same issue recently when people were trying to buy tickets and they weren't going to Cooper's website. They were going to the third party and then complaining about the price of tickets.
I see.
Right. Yeah. You know, always go to the venue.
Okay. Or the artist.
Or the artist, because those will have the official links.
Nice. That's good info.
And you always save money.
Yeah. Very cool. So, lastly, what are 3 things you're grateful for right now in your life?
You asked me this last time, you know.
Always
so I'm always grateful for family, because you cannot replace family.
That's right.
And I have great kids. My wife is amazing, and my brother's amazing, and his family's amazing. And they live up in Colorado Springs.
Oh, cool.
It's family first and foremost. Second, I'm thankful for the community which we live in. Right? There's a lot of great people. It's a really talented community when it comes from a performing arts perspective, and I think a lot of us share the same objectives, and we want to see San Angelo succeed and grow the art scene. And I'm thankful for, you know, it's always a hard one. Number 3. I think I'm thankful for the opportunity that I have. Yeah. Right, to make a difference. Yeah. Nice. Because life has a lot of unknowns. Right. You never know what's going to happen to you next. Yep. And you know, you have to make the most of every opportunity that you have. Right. And you know, and sometimes we don't have that perspective.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know where SAPAC would be if I hadn't latched onto this opportunity.
I know.
Maybe it would be much better than it is now.
I highly doubt that.
But not having had a performing arts background,
I know, that's crazy. Yeah.
I've made it my mission to make the most of this opportunity and help the most people in the community as possible.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing, and keep going strong. And good to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for what you do for the community, because
absolutely
we need more of this. I think.
Yeah.
Just like honest dialogue about how to connect and make the community better.
Yes, we sure do. Well, cool. All right, guys, you heard it here. Go to the SAPAC website, see what upcoming shows they got going on, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, Yuki, for coming on once again to talk about some upcoming events going on at SAPAC, for bringing musicians together. Remember, guys,